Hello, everybody. My name is Paul Rusch. I'm a part-time senior lecturer for German as a foreign and second language at the University of Innsbruck. I co-authored quite a few textbooks for students of German and still do so. Being asked to share experience about teaching, learning in a multicultural and plurilingual context, I confine my contribution to two observations. Two of the many observations that became formative experiences for my future work. I go back to one of my first German courses. In Innsbruck, I taught a class in a seminary for future Catholic priests. Needless to say, an all-male class. 5 students came from Nigeria, 4 from South Korea, another 5 from random European countries. The way the students acted in class was beyond my concept of students interacting in a group setting. Students might be extrovert or introverted, more or less talkative, more or less responding to the way of my teaching. This class was different. My young Nigerian men liked giggling. They burst into laughter when they felt like doing so. They communicated in a loud voice. To communicate seemed to be much more important to them than to avoid linguistic mistakes. My Korean students spoke in a silent voice when they were asked for a contribution. They spoke slowly, trying to avoid linguistic mistakes at the expense of fluency. They acted more like well-behaved younger pupils than the confident young men they were. Consciously or not, I started to structure my experiences. Nigerians are, Koreans are. Nigerians, Koreans, really? Would it be the same if I had taught female students or a co-educational class? If I had taught students belonging to different social groups, if I had taught in Nigeria or South Korea on their home ground, I created stereotypes. A natural process as Lippmann described nearly 100 years ago in 1924. We form stereotypes, and even more so, we receive stereotypes in our growing up. We see these stereotypes multiplied endlessly by the media. But do we reflect them? Do we check them? I stick to stereotypes, a second experience. In a language class for international students at the University of Innsbruck, we talked about the stereotypes they had received about German-speaking countries and Austria in particular. Now, being in Innsbruck, students found some of them confirmed, others falsified. A female student from Senegal described a puzzling experience. A bunch of students from the student hall she lived in among them Austrian, German, and other European students, had agreed to go out in the evening. 10 minutes before the time agreed on, she was at the meeting place in the city. And then I had to wait nearly half an hour until the first ones arrived. I had thought being in time was very important for Europeans. I didn't want the stereotype African being notoriously late. So I was too early. She complained a little bit in class. After this, we began discussing the concept of time and the concept of being in time in various situations. Which situations do allow being a little bit late, and in which situations is it necessary to be very accurate? The students' stereotypes face the recheck by their experiences made. In the request for this contribution, it says to share experience about teaching learning. I'd like to go a step further. Acquiring intercultural competence is a creative and self-reflective process, a process of learning. Cultural learning is a bottom-up process, starting from concrete experience and observation. Knowledge derived from various superficial do's and taboos does not help understanding culture and its practice. Thank you very much for your attention.